Okay, we're at the Sheraton in Arlington, and this has been great for us. We picked up a former Spartan, Kevin Simon. Kevin, why don't you give the background? I mean, it was perfect. This game wasn't scheduled for you, but you work down the street here.
Yeah, working with the Cowboys is going on year 7 as a scout with them. Feel blessed to work for a first-class organization. Really my love of football, started as a kid. I grew up in Salle, and really my time at De La Salle has really carried me through. And there's things that I learned all along the way that I rely on daily now. So it's all good, man.
Absolutely. No, it started with your dad. But then you talked about he was a big influence in your life. But then that led you to Edson and Ladder.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm really just a product of good coaching, and that started at home. With Dad, my father raised me. Whether it was Ceremony Bears with Coach Reed, or Ceremony Valley Thunderbirds, or Candy Creek Little League, or Pleasant Hill baseball league, or wrestling at Valley View Middle School, just whatever it was. I think I'm just the product of good coaching, and I was fortunate to be around men who, of character and values and morals, and they gave those things to me. And sometimes, it's easier for us to learn or to really grasp on the concepts, when it's not our parents telling us. My dad, he always told me, hey, Kevin, if you want something, you're really going to have to work hard for it. Well, when you hear that from Coach Ladd and from Coach Edson and from Mr. Sanso, it really starts to sink in for you. And I think it did for me. And at 32 years old, I look back and don't know where I'd be, without my upbringing and kind of just all the people that have helped get me to this point.
Right, another guy, a young guy, Justin Allenball. I mean, he was what? He was a freshman. You were the freshman. He was a senior.
Yeah.
But then he was coming back volunteering coaching when he's at UCLA.
Yeah, when Justin was a senior at De La Salle, I was a freshman, and I played linebacker. Obviously, he was an all-state linebacker, and I really looked up to him. And it was special for him to come back. UCLA's on the quarter system. They don't start school until October, so my sophomore, junior, and senior years, Coach Allenball, he worked with us, me and DJ, would come back and coach us, and man, I don't know, just that bond that we created is unique. And when he would leave, man, I'm not ashamed to admit I'd cry. I mean, he just meant a lot, especially at that time, and there's just kind of like that unique, unconditional love that we had. And I hadn't seen any of these guys in 8 years, and it's funny to just be around them. And honestly, it just goes back to square one. It's just like we spoke yesterday, and I think that just kind of speaks to the unique place and what our program's about at De La Salle. That foundation's been laid for years, and just it's kind of the mark of a true friendship when you can go years without speaking or seeing each other, and then when you guys are around each other, just boom, right back to it. So it's fun, and really feel blessed today to be around and see everybody that a lot of people that mean a lot to me.
Right, that's the other thing I thought about. We're here in Texas, but the trajectory to get here was almost started in '98 when you, Atari, Cal, and all you guys went down to Mater Dei. Tell the young Spartans, they might have been not even born, or maybe about 1 year old or so. Tell them about that '98 game down there at Angel Stadium.
Yeah, well, that was the first year that we played the independent schedule. 5 games independent, and then obviously we'll play our 5 games back in the BVAL, and it's uncharted waters, and there was an air of excitement, but there's also kind of an air of uncertainty, just because you didn't know exactly how it was going to go, and we had the 76-game win streak at the time. Well, actually, I believe it was 79. After the season, and that was during Coach Allenball's senior year. But shit, I think we all embraced the challenge, and we weren't gonna let go of the rope. So just in terms of the preparation and the time that we put in, I think we all felt like we put in too much to let it go, and we played a tough game, hard-fought game against Mater Dei, but we also had a lot of talent on those teams, to be totally honest with you. I mean, there's some damn good players on that team from '98, and I feel fortunate to I was the only sophomore on the team, and feel fortunate to be a part of that first year that we got out there on the road. But hard-fought game down there at Anaheim Stadium. I think there was about 21,000 people there. But everything that Coach Ladd and Coach Edson and everybody else associated with the program gave us, really had us ready for that moment.
Right. Well, how about this? Yeah, because I remember I was talking to the seniors on the team, Dave Biller. I said, Simon's a sophomore. Anybody have to worry about him? He says, nobody has to worry about Simon. I mean, this is a high compliment. Dave Biller was one of the leaders on that team, correct? Or
yeah, no doubt. And for the offensive line and just the way that he went about his work and just daily actions, he carried the torch. And it wasn't just him; it was others too.
You mentioned some of the names that have been lost to history.
Well, guys like Torrey Callan and obviously DJ Williams, but Vinny Padilla and Jesse Rodriguez and Ray Forster and Sean Edson and
Chris Hesse.
Yeah, and Chris Hesse. Hess.
Sure.
I mean, Renard Carey and Ben Tucker and Tag McCurdy is a guy who didn't start, but you saw him work his balls off every single day, and that's one of the things about leadership. I think we talk about leadership, and we just think of the people that are out in front, vocal, about how they're, leading and pushing the team. But really, leadership is about making others around you better, and people have to do that within their own personality, and the way that Tag worked and the way that he led by example, and you knew that he wanted he wanted more than anything to be on the field. But although but he's a backup. But just me, and I started ahead of Tag, but me watching the way he worked made me want to work even harder. And that competition's healthy. I think that's another. There's a lot of things that this program's about, and I think that's just another thing. It's about just kind of pushing people outside their comfort zones, and for the betterment of the team.
Right. Okay. I saw something. We sort of flash forward. I'll have to come back to you and talk to you about Tennessee.
Yeah.
But what you're doing now, the scouting. I mean, they cut it down. You were doing 54 schools. Now you're doing 44 schools. Tell people what you're doing. I mean, you're traveling a lot for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that's just that's just kind of as a way that we felt like we could work a little bit more efficient. But scouting is an unbelievable profession. I feel fortunate because I get a chance to be around the game I love daily. I get paid to watch football. I mean, come on, guys. It's a pretty good gig if you can get it. But I work for a first-class organization. People who hire you, and then they let you do your job, and then all over your shoulder, or kind of micromanaging you. It's a man's contract. You have to lead yourself. And again, my background and my father is heavily influential in my life. My older brother Kenneth, who he's passed away now, but a lot of the things that they gave me as a youngster, and then those things were just highlighted kind of as I went on into life. Again, I rely on those things daily.
Right.
Just commitment and understanding that hard work pays a dividend.
Yeah.
If you work the right way, and I like to smell the roses and through the moment and enjoy the journey.
Right.
So,
the other thing I thought about the scouting. Some people talk to the head coaches, the assistant coaches. You go to the graduate assistants, and maybe in the janitors, because you want to know what these guys are like on and off the field. I mean, it's about character sometimes in football.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with how things are today, and just there's things that can take you off the field, and the roster's not like a college roster. There's 85 guys on the college roster. In the NFL, we have a 53-man roster. Only 46 guys suit up on game days, on that active roster. So really, we can't make mistakes. And me as a scout, the last thing I want to do is lead us to making a bad decision. So yeah, you spend time with the head coach, you spend time with the coordinators, you spend time with the position coach. You're going to spend time with the strength staff. You're going to spend time with the medical staff. You're going to go talk to academics. You're going to talk to the equipment staff. You're going to talk to the graduate assistants, because they get to see the kids in a unique way where maybe they have their hair down, because they're not necessarily seen as authority figures. They're seen more as peers. And I made a joke, but yeah, hey, if the janitor interacts with the kid, hey, I'll talk to the janitor about the kid, just because at the end of the day, you're trying to shift through all the sand and find the nugget.
Right.
Who is he? What's he about? Where's he coming from? And ultimately, what is he bringing to our organization? Right. Good, bad, and in between. Because just the awareness